Hi everybody, good to see you. Hope everybody's doing well. Beautiful day here in Western New York. Cooled off down into the 80s. We had a 8-day stretch of 90s. Broke a record for most consecutive 90-degree days, including a 97 and a 98. So we got perilously close to the 100 mark. My friend Wayne and Tom and I were talking on Friday about that, and Wayne said we would like to see 100 before we cash in our cookies. I agree with him. I think that would be kind of neat. Just one time. The heat was oppressive, though, and glad it's cooling off some. So, talk a little cats and talk a little greatness today. The greatness part, I can think of three of the greatest days in my life. The dates were September 28th, 1985, October 28th, 1985, November 1st, 2015. The three things that happened on those days were Kansas City Royals won the World Series. In 85, the Kansas City Royals won the World Series in 2015, and the other date was I married my wife of 35 years, my rock and the best thing that ever happened to me. But I don't put those days in any order of importance or significance, so take that for what it's worth. Talking about cats, I have a cat named Dimitri who he likes to lay in the kitchen, mostly on the weekends. I like to get a cup of coffee and sit on the floor with him. It's kind of a tradition, so I'll sit and pet him, and he'll roll around and purr and just let me rub him, etc., etc. Well, this morning I went downstairs and he was already in the kitchen laying there, so I got my cup of coffee and I sat down on the floor with him, and I didn't even have to touch him, and I could hear him purring. I mean, he's got a very loud purr, and of course when I rub him and stroke him and everything, he chortles and purrs, and it's one of the great pleasures of life to hear a cat purr, at least in my opinion. But so in this case, I just sat down right next to him and he started purring, and it was like just my mere presence made him happy. And of course that doesn't happen in real life. Usually the mere presence of me makes people run away or just get out in disgust. But I was thinking that how neat it would be if we could live our lives that if our mere presence or our mere showing up on the scene or our mere phone call or email or text, just our mere presence could make somebody happy. That would kind of be a neat thing. So that's my goal for this week, is to try and make somebody happy by something that I say or something that I do or just something that I can share with them. So that's my thought for the day. One more thing about greatness, I could share the greatest sporting events by sport that I've ever been at, and I think I'll start this week, and I'll only do one. Would be hockey. For me, the greatest hockey game that I've ever been at was in 1993, the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Sabres against the Boston Bruins. My friend Dave called me maybe 2 weeks before the series even started and said he had tickets to Game 4. Would you like to go? I'm going to be in Florida. I said, well, Game 4? I said, yeah, I guess. Reluctantly, I said, yeah, I'll watch the Sabres get swept, because at that time the Bruins were a better team. The Bruins were having a better season. The Sabres were on a losing streak. So I said, okay, yeah, I'll go. 4 tickets. I got 3 of my friends. We went. Well, lo and behold, the first 3 games the Sabres won, including 2 in Boston. They came home to Buffalo, won Game 3. So we're going to this game with the opportunity to sweep the Bruins. and the Sabres had not won a playoff series in 10 years. So when you go to a playoff game, and I've gone to Buffalo Braves playoff games and Sabres playoff games, the atmosphere in the building is electric compared with a regular season game. You can feel it, and anybody that's gone to a playoff game knows what I'm talking about. Of course, this game was in Memorial Auditorium. Much better place to watch a hockey game than this thing that we have now. It was more intimate. You were like almost right down on the ice, and this place was so loud. It was amazing, unbelievable. Sabres fell behind 5-2. All looked lost, and they crawled back into the game, tied the game in the third period. The game went into overtime, and Brad May scored arguably the most famous goal in Sabres history, faking out Hall of Famer Ray Bourque and then faking out the goalie Andy Mogan, sliding the puck in the empty net. Incredible. The noise, the atmosphere, incredible. Out in the parking lot after the game, you're high-fiving people you didn't even know, horns blaring. Incredible experience. But so that was just the greatest hockey game I've ever been at. Maybe next week I'll talk about the greatest Braves game, greatest Bills game, and even the greatest Bisons game, which was a loss. So until then, hope everybody has a good week. Love each other. Be kind to each other. Bye-bye.